So I've made a couple of slow orb lineup videos for every map, and I've even made a couple videos showing you my favorite wall spots, but today I wanted to take it a step further and show you guys all the walls that I regularly use here on Split, including while attacking, different executes I go for, as well as some great defensive walls, one-ways, and boosts. But before we get into the walls, if you are part of the 94% of people watching this who aren't subscribed and you like Valorant guides like this, then consider hitting that subscribe button. So I'm going to be starting off here on the attacking side because I just think that in general there's not as many quality attacking walls that you can use. And in general, the main purpose of attacking walls is to cut off lines of sight, or once you take control of sight, to block entryways into that site. So starting off here at B site, this is a classic, very easy, very well-known wall that you use if you're going to execute this site. It's basically a must because it gives your team protection from the top of heaven as long as they hug the side of the wall. Now, I don't use this wall that much because, to be honest, you hardly ever execute B this way through this map. This little hallway here is easily controlled by a Cypher and it's basically a death trap. But if you are in the situation where a Cypher isn't playing this site, this is a great wall to use, and it's very simple. It's just using the wall right here, hugging it, and getting to site. Like I said, this is a very basic wall, however, it is fundamental to executing B through B main. And as you can see from the perspective of someone who would be playing Heaven up here, they would have to run all the way out here to even get a chance at seeing someone, and really you're only going to be seeing people come out this way if they are too far away from the wall. So as long as you're hugging the wall as close as possible, you won't be seen from this angle at all. And in the same way that you would use your wall to cut off the line of sight from Heaven at B, you can just as easily place a wall all the way from back here to block off Heaven and make a play towards ropes. As you can see, as long as you're aiming just above the ramp here, you can place it all the way from back here nearly with your back to the wall. And once again, from the perspective of the person up here, they would have to be all the way down here to even get a chance at seeing someone going into ropes. So this wall provides a great cover, especially the closer you are to it. So for A site here, a really great wall that you can use is for once your team has pushed onto site, you need to be the last one out for this, but you can actually place a wall down here like this and boost yourself onto Heaven from an angle that the defending team might not expect. It's not too often that someone uses a wall to self boost up here. Another bonus to this is that it completely cuts off this entrance to the site. So if your team has full control of site, you know the options where the defenders can come from is limited to Heaven and over here. Now I sometimes see Sage players try and put walls up here like this to block off Heaven, and although it does block off the sides here, I definitely don't recommend it because it doesn't do that much, as it's a very easy crouch jump on top of the wall. Now for A site, my personal favorite is once you've cleared all of sight, you make your way through elbow, make sure everything's clear, placing a wall right here to block the CT entryway. Once again, this wall limits the number of ways the site can be entered through. So if someone wants to get out this way through the wall, they have to actually shoot it and make noise, and they can't just sneak past. Now, a boost for attacking A site that you can actually still use is the one from on top of this box. Basically, you just place the wall under your feet like this, and as you can see, a perfect line of sight to A site Heaven. And this wall is great to catch someone off guard who's been playing A Heaven a lot, peeking aggressively at the start of the rounds. But like with all wall boosts, you can't do this every round or you'll become too predictable. So moving on to the defender side, this is truly where I believe Sage shines on this map, because this map is already defense sided as it is, and adding a Sage on top of that with the wall and the slow just makes for a really good time for Sage mains. So I personally have found the most success with Sage on this map playing mid, because in my experience, mid control is vital to winning either side of this map. If you give up mid control as a defender, the attackers can easily choose whichever site they want to overrun. And if you give up mid control as an attacker, you lose a huge chunk of the map that you can't rotate through. And my personal favorite wall on this map here is this one way here at the top of the staircase. What you want to do is aim around this stair right here, pull out your wall, rotate it once, and then place it. And as you can see from back here, the person playing ropes room It's a really easy time seeing the feet of anyone who might be crossing sides at bottom mid or pushing up for whatever reason. And from the attacker side, you can't see it at all until you get really close. And normally by the time they've gotten that close, the person playing the rope room has had more than enough time to get free shots off. And another benefit to this wall is that you can still easily get in and out of B heaven, and you can also use it as a wall boost to peek from. Another reason to add on to why I think Sage is great at being played mid here on defense side is because you can easily watch mid from here, as well as watch for a rush to B. And if you know that the enemies are rushing B through B main, you can easily put a wall right here and slow them down. Now, something that I also like to do on mid as Sage, especially on eco rounds, is to wall off one side of mid. And a wall at this spot is great on eco rounds because normally you will have all 5 of your teammates right here, and it's super easy to push up mid as 5 and isolate the 1 or 2 people who may be playing sewer side and potentially get a gun and turn the round. I've actually won an insane amount of rounds on this map on eco round on defense side just by walling off this right side of mid and swinging on the people playing in sewers. Now, for defending A side, there are a bunch of great walls and peaks that you can use. First up, this is by far the most common. However, it's still a completely viable wall and will catch people off guard. And what you want to do is once you're in this corner, pull out your wall, rotate it to be like this, and place it. And as you can see, it gives a perfect peek to anyone who may be trying to make a play for A. You can see a good portion of the cross, and you can even see them where they would just be peeking to try and get information. Now, something else that you can do if you're a psychopath is you can actually jump along this building here and slide into this cubby here. Now, like I said, not sure I would recommend it, but it's something you can keep in mind. It will certainly catch people off guard if you are swinging from here, peeking someone at top ramp. Now, another wall here at A is actually a pixel angle that you can create from this ramp right here. And all you want to do is aim your wall so it's covering the ramp, however it's leaving a little corner of the ramp still open to peek through. Obviously, the smaller the corner, the smaller that both you and your enemies can see. But if you place the wall like that, you have a very easy view even to the orb, which is a common objective that someone might be going for down there. Now, it's not nearly as much of a one-way as the wall mid. As you can see, it's more of a pixel angle that the enemies can shoot through. However, any enemies that are pushing up like this and just crouch walking to try and take shots through here will be completely exposed to long A. So while this isn't the best wall, at the end of the day, it can still serve its purpose of blocking off the entryway to top ramp in the event of a push. So an alternative to that top ramp wall is actually placing a wall right here like this, using instead this little ramp as the one-way. Now, once again, super simple to place. All you want to do is aim the outline of your wall so that way you're leaving a little corner of the ramp exposed to you. So I really think this is a great position right here. As you can see here, it's a decently wide gap to shoot through that the attackers cannot see through at all. They can't get a tiny little peek at that. And another benefit to this wall is that you can place it at the start of the round while standing on top of it and just use it as a general wall boost to peek this angle to long A. So those are what I believe to be the best Sage walls on Split. If you guys enjoyed this video, then consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you guys would like to see videos like this for every map, then be sure to let me know in the comments down below.